In episode 31, Brainstorming and Nominal Group Technique, we explore how to generate creative breadth without descending into chaos. Risk identification thrives on variety of thought, but that same variety can quickly overwhelm if not channeled with structure. Facilitators walk a narrow line between openness and order, ensuring every voice contributes without letting discussion spiral. This episode focuses on practical steps that make group creativity disciplined, inclusive, and productive. When designed well, brainstorming sessions yield not noise, but insight-turning collective imagination into a structured foundation for risk awareness and prioritization. The first step toward effective brainstorming is setting clear ground rules. Participants must agree to defer judgment and focus on generating quantity before evaluating quality. Early critique shuts down contribution by signaling risk in speaking up. Instead, the facilitator encourages wide exploration, welcoming even unlikely ideas. Go wide is not a slogan, it is an invitation to suspend constraints long enough to see beyond familiar patterns. Rules create freedom because they define safe boundaries for expression. When everyone knows judgment is deferred, creativity expands and anxiety drops. The result is a richer, more balanced collection of possibilities. Warm-up exercises lower participation barriers and set the energy of the room. Simple, lighthearted tasks, like listing as many uses for a paperclip as possible or identifying hidden risks in everyday routines, help participants relax into creative mode. These activities reset the group's mindset from analytical to generative. People rarely shift from spreadsheets to imagination instantly. Warm-ups provide that bridge. The facilitator uses this moment to normalize imperfection. Ideas need not be polished to have value. Once comfort is established, the main brainstorming session proceeds with greater flow, humor, and confidence from all participants. Prompt ladders guide idea generation through structured curiosity. Starting with broad prompts about scope, then narrowing to causes and effects, keeps thought moving systematically rather than randomly. A ladder might begin with, what aspects of this project could influence outcomes? Then move to, what could cause each of those to fail? And finally, what would happen if they did? This progression builds depth without losing breadth. Prompt ladders act as invisible scaffolding for conversation, allowing creativity within coherent direction. They help the group traverse from exploration to insight without requiring constant facilitator intervention. The session often begins with a silent idea dump. Participants write down as many risk ideas as possible within a few minutes without discussion. This quiet phase levels the field by giving introverts equal opportunity to contribute and preventing early dominance by vocal participants. It also accelerates thinking because silence removes social distractions. When everyone brainstorms privately first, the total idea pool expands dramatically. The facilitator then collects or displays these notes anonymously, setting the stage for later discussion that focuses on content rather than personality. Silence becomes the first act of inclusion. Round-robin sharing follows, ensuring that all voices are heard. Each participant takes turns presenting one idea at a time until the group exhausts its collective list. This technique prevents idea monopolization and sustains momentum. It also promotes attentive listening, as participants wait their turn while mentally connecting to others' suggestions. Round-robin creates rhythm and fairness. Every person has airtime guaranteed. The facilitator manages pace lightly, encouraging brief, clear statements. The goal is to surface ideas, not debate them yet. In this way, the group builds shared visibility without friction, gathering raw material for later refinement. Encouraging the mindset of yes and helps participants build on one another's ideas rather than replacing or judging them. This phrase, borrowed from improvisation, signals continuity. It tells the group to extend thoughts collaboratively. Yes, and if that supplier fails, we might also lose key logistics support. This technique transforms contribution from competition into construction. The atmosphere becomes additive, not adversarial. When people know their ideas will be expanded rather than dismissed, they listen more deeply and offer bolder perspectives. Yes and thinking turns individual insights into collective discovery. Once a critical mass of ideas emerges, the facilitator helps the group cluster them by causal themes. Patterns usually form naturally, technical failures, human factors, external dependencies, or process gaps. Grouping ideas around causes rather than symptoms or departments creates analytical coherence. It also simplifies future prioritization by revealing where many concerns stem from a shared root. Visual clustering, using sticky notes or digital boards, engages participants in tactile sense-making. The process turns a flood of fragments into structured understanding, bridging creativity with analysis without spontaneity. Before diving into selection, a quick round of clarifications keeps the record clean. Participants can ask brief questions to ensure mutual understanding, but must avoid turning clarification into debate. The facilitator enforces brevity, each question answered in a sentence or two. This phase corrects ambiguity without hijacking momentum. The purpose is documentation accuracy, not persuasion. By keeping clarifications factual, the session preserves its creative tone while ensuring that every idea is captured clearly for subsequent scoring or evaluation. Clarity now prevents confusion later when the group transitions to structured ranking. The nominal group technique begins once brainstorming concludes. Each participant privately ranks or scores the ideas based on criteria such as impact, likelihood, or relevance to objectives. Privacy in scoring reduces groupthink and social pressure, allowing independent judgment. The facilitator collects these rankings anonymously to maintain objectivity. The beauty of this approach lies in its fairness. Every opinion counts equally, regardless of hierarchy. It transforms subjective discussion into measurable preference without silencing dissenting views. The method captures wisdom distributed across the group, free from dominance effects. After scores are tallied, the group reviews the aggregated results and discusses any surprising gaps between expectations and outcomes. Discrepancies often reveal where understanding diverges. For instance, one team may view a risk as critical while another ranks it minor, exposing differing assumptions. This stage converts numbers back into dialogue, now focused and evidence-based. Discussing score gaps deepens insight rather than reintroducing chaos. The facilitator's role is to maintain curiosity, not defensiveness, helping the group reconcile perspectives without seeking unanimity. Consensus may emerge, but learning is the real victory. From the ranked list, the team refines top items into structured risk statements. These drafts should follow the familiar cause, risk, effect pattern, capturing each idea in actionable language. Refinement solidifies ownership and precision. Vague phrases like communication issues evolve into, if project updates are delayed, decision cycles may extend, risking milestone slippage. Turning brainstormed fragments into proper statements bridges creativity with analysis. Participants see immediate progress, their contributions becoming tangible outputs. This moment of consolidation converts enthusiasm into disciplined documentation, ensuring that insight endures beyond the workshop. Assigning owners for rapid validation ensures that promising ideas do not languish. Each high-priority risk gets a temporary custodian responsible for verifying details, confirming relevance, and proposing initial responses. Ownership transforms discussion into motion. It also spreads accountability across the team, reinforcing engagement beyond the workshop. The facilitator sets clear expectations for follow-up deadlines and information sharing. Without this step, even the most inspired sessions fade into forgotten notes. Ownership ensures continuity, proving that brainstorming was not just expression, it was initiation of structured inquiry. Convergence and documentation complete the process. The facilitator summarizes outcomes, confirms assigned responsibilities, and records all decisions clearly. The session ends not with exhaustion, but with collective satisfaction, a sense of closure and direction. The risk register receives its new entries, prioritized and validated, while participants see how their input shaped real artifacts. Discipline in closing ensures that creativity translates into capability. In the end, effective brainstorming and nominal group technique achieve what few meetings do. They balance freedom with focus, turning group energy into organized foresight. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit DailyCyber.News.